Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello again, everyone, and good Wednesday afternoon. Welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham alongside Jeremy Jeffcoat. We'll be with you for the next hour, taking your comments, as always, taking your phone calls, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics. Obviously, kind of turning the page, Auburn moving on from the win over San Jose State, unimpressive as it was. They will welcome in Penn State, the Nittany Lions. Did I read the first Big Ten team ever to play in Jordan Hare Stadium? That seems crazy.
That is a.
But I think I read that.
Well,
that seems odd, but nonetheless, coming to Jordan Hare Stadium should be an incredible environment. 2:30 on CBS on Saturday. The Nittany Lions got the best of the Tigers last year in Happy Valley, 28-20. It's kind of a game that went back and forth, and Penn State. Some crucial mistakes from Auburn. A fumble to start the second half that led to a touchdown for Penn State was a big play in that game. But nonetheless, the Penn State was the one that ended up making the plays. Auburn did not make the plays when they needed to make them down the stretch, and they were unable to win that game. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll break down those numbers a little bit. We'll kind of broaden our horizon a little bit and talk about some of the games in the SEC that happened, some of the teams moving forward. Obviously, Kentucky with a big win over Florida. Arkansas with a win over South Carolina.
Arkansas continues to look good, man.
The defense not great, but the offense, they are steady.
Yeah.
And KJ Jefferson is playing with a guy with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
We'll fit in a Braves segment if we can. Braves with a win last night. Mets with a loss. Creeping back another half. I mean, the lead is half a game. So
just want to kind of stay there. The schedule turns in your favor if you can get through tonight, right? Get 6 at home, Phillies and Nationals.
Nationals, I think. Yeah.
And so the schedule kind of turns in your favor. Like I said, if we can be dead even going into that 3-game series with New York at the end of the month, that's where you want to be.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. We'll do that. Love to hear from you as always. Love for you to be a part of the program. 256-234-6221 is our number here. Also dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page. That's Sports with a Z. And comment away. We will get to as many of those as we can throughout the show today. Again, thank you for all of you out there who join us each and every weekday on the Auburn Blitz. Some news that came out yesterday. Auburn has named an interim athletic director. That would be Rich McGlynn. He has been at Auburn, a name that most people know. He has been at Auburn, I think, since 2006. The executive associate athletic director for compliance. So this is a guy that you probably love to hate at times. He's the guy that maybe is imposing self-imposed penalties,
right?
Or suggesting that you do this because Auburn has found themselves in trouble at one time or another, as so many other teams have. But nonetheless, he has been at Auburn for a while. He knows Auburn. Christopher Roberts, the new president, named him the interim AD. We'll see what happens with that, and certainly the process of replacing Alan Green with a permanent AD will begin in earnest here shortly. If you're looking for what he's looking for in the new AD, he said, as president, I am fully committed to building and sustaining nationally competitive athletic programs. This is Christopher Roberts. As such, my goal is to find the very best person to lead Auburn athletics. Here's the criteria. Someone who understands our storied history, has a proven track record leading a large-scale athletics enterprise, values the importance of our student athletes' accomplishments, both on and off the field, and someone who will lead our programs to even greater levels of success.
That's pretty standard.
Sound like anybody you know?
I mean,
The part about somebody that has led an athletics, obviously I think that means he wants somebody with experience.
yes.
Now, somebody leading, how did he put it? Leading
A large-scale athletics enterprise.
enterprise,
Yeah.
athletics enterprise. So what does that even mean? That could be
That could be a pro team. That could be
a general manager of you could be any, as long as you're running a athletic organization. But a lot of people, wondered about what will Auburn promote from within? Will they go from outside the family and bring somebody else in? I don't know as that narrows that down, or if that leads us one way or the other. So for now, Rich McGlynn is the interim AD. We will see. I think.
Are there any names
I think
percolating?
he's very well
are
respected.
there,
So
are there names percolating?
the guy from Utah State put his name out there. Usually when somebody, that's this early in the process says, hey, I'll take the job, he's probably not going to be the one they hire.
Right.
But I know that was, I didn't even know his name. I can't remember it, but that's the only one that I know of. How, in this day and age, an athletic director at an SEC program, I couldn't name you probably at least more than half. I could name you the names of the athletic directors. How important is it?
It's incredibly important, I think. But it's important because the criteria is not that hard to establish. You need someone who can run and manage a large organization, someone who can take disparate types of people and bring them together in common cause, right? Who's proven the ability to do that. And then, preferably someone who has a vision, right? And I'll go back just within the state. And people gave Mal Moore a really hard time on a couple of his coaching hires. But it's not his fault that Dennis Franchione didn't want to be there. Dennis Franchione was winning games. He was doing what, Mike Price had gone to 2 Rose Bowls. There was no indication in Mike Price's history that he was going to be a fan of strip clubs in Pensacola. But he had a vision of what he wanted to do, right? He wanted to expand the stadium. He wanted to grow the athletic department. He knew where he was going. He just had trouble finding that one guy, to get there. So I think it's just, you got to have somebody with a vision of where they want to go. Somebody with a history of running a large enterprise, as he said. What is an athletics enterprise? I mean, if you had somebody who was qualified who had run Nike, right? I mean, that's a large-scale athletics enterprise.
Sure.
Or had run an Olympic committee or had run, whatever. Doesn't mean it necessarily has to be an experienced college athletic director. I think it opens you up to possibilities.
Yeah. I think in this day and age, a little bit, even, back in, a certain time, I bet the athletics director wore many, many hats. In this day and time of specialized, Auburn has a CFO. They have a COO. They have all these different, they've created all these different positions. The athletic director's almost become a figurehead. And maybe that's the way it's always, that's the way it's been for quite a while. Maybe that is the way it is in most places. But like you said, you need somebody that you're going to, number one, that will represent the university.
And let me say this, there's nothing wrong with hiring from outside.
Yeah.
But that person from outside still needs to be a fit. It's not, there's no such thing, well, just hire, somebody from outside and then we'll fit the university to them. That doesn't happen. A university's history doesn't change because you hired somebody new. It's got to be an athletic director who understands what fits and doesn't fit at Auburn, right?
Yeah, you wonder how stringent they're going to be to that. Someone who understands our storied history. What is that? That doesn't mean they have to have worked at Auburn.
No.
They could be, somebody from like you said. You could go from the outside and somebody that just comes in and says, look, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand. I've been a fan of the SEC.
Yeah.
I've watched this conference for, forever. I understand how it works. I understand the importance of it. I think it's, but again, that's one of those criteria everybody throws out. Somebody that knows, and believes in it and all this kind of stuff. Everybody's going to say that on the resume.
Absolutely.
And everybody's going to say, absolutely.
Not everybody understands it. And while
Brian Harsin, he may not understand
While I appreciate the job Alan Green did at Auburn, the Harsin hire still has a great chance to work out. Still's got a chance to work out. It was a weird hire. I don't care what anybody says. It was a weird hire.
Well, it went against the grain.
It went against the grain, but sometimes it goes against the grain, and you go, "Oh wow, that's that makes sense." This one kind of went against the grain, and you went, "Well, it could work out, but man, So that's just 2 cents in there. I think you have to understand the culture of the fan base, what the fan base expects, what the booster base expects. Believe it or not, those people are incredibly important. So
try to live without them. Try to function.
That's right.
See how important they are.
You've got to be able to deal with all of those and manage all of those expectations of different people, right? I can hire this person, but I don't know. I don't know if that's going to excite anybody. Sometimes you got to, like it or not, Bruce Pearl was an exciting hire.
Yes.
Right?
No question.
I mean, and whether he had worked out or not, he's worked out fabulously. If he had worked out or not, it was an exciting hire, and it got people excited.
Up against our first break. Don't go anywhere. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Concrete Basement and Walls LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls LLC.
It's truck season at Glenn Smith in Opelika. We have an excellent supply of Chevrolet Silverados and GMC Sierras with giant discounts and low monthly payments. New Chevrolet Silverados up to $6,000 off, or payments as low as $499 a month with zero money down. GMC Sierras discounted up to $5,000 off.
Zero money down, no payments till 2023 at Glenn Smith in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and JJ here with you. About 45 more minutes left in today's show, brought to you each and every day by Big Fish Real Estate. For all your real estate needs here in the Lake Martin area as well as down there on the coast, give them a call today. 551-BIG-FISH, or look them up, BigFishLakeMartin.com. Penn State, the Nittany Lions coming into Jordan-Hare Stadium on Saturday, both teams 2-2. Neither team been overly impressive this year. And, you know, 2 games into the year, it's still early. Penn State has faced Purdue on the road and Ohio. Ohio, not necessarily a great team. Auburn faced Mercer and San Jose State. Neither of those would be considered a good team by pretty much anybody as well. So the numbers are skewed, you know, to some, obviously. But you can tell a little bit about a team as far as the kind of identity that they are developing, or what kind of team basically they are. For instance, Penn State averaging 323 yards passing, 168 yards rushing, have not been able. Obviously, Purdue and Ohio neither known as a stalwart defense. So Penn State not able to run the ball very well, but they do. They are very proficient throwing the football. Auburn, on the other hand, running the ball for 247.5 yards a game, only throwing it for 190 yards a game. And, of course, there are those 4 interceptions that Auburn has thrown.
Well, that's why pass efficiency is skewed so heavily to Penn State. They're 155 or so pass efficiency, in Auburn somewhere around 120. So,
which would be 94th in the country.
Here is, regardless of what the stats say, right? So I've thought a lot about this game.
Okay.
I've thought a lot about this game because I've been waiting to see what the number is, right? So, you know, the number I saw yesterday was Penn State by 3.
-3, yeah.
Okay. I'm telling you this, if it gets to 3.5, I'm on the Tigers immediately. But the reason I say that,
you're on a hot streak.
I'm not laying points on Penn State in Jordan-Hare Stadium. We know how that stadium can be.
It's a big fact.
So I'm not laying points on Penn State and Jordan-Hare Stadium. At the same time, you know, if it gets to 3, it's hard for me to imagine Auburn losing by more than a field goal at home to Penn State. But then there is this recency bias. I was thinking about this morning, Andy. The last thing we saw is generally the front of our mind, right?
Okay.
And the last thing I saw from Auburn was some really bad quarterback play last Saturday. And I can't sugarcoat it. Made some good throws, made some bad. No, it was bad quarterback play. Bad. And the last thing I saw from Penn State was good quarterback play. So if I'm going to allow that these two teams are somewhat athletically somewhat similar, right, with the advantages, I think Auburn has a better defensive front seven. I think Penn State's going to have an advantage on the offensive line, better offensive line than what Auburn has, right? Those two are kind of aimed at each other. And then I go, okay, well, whose quarterback's going to make some plays this weekend?
Sean Clifford did it last year.
Yeah, I got a fourth-year starter at Penn State who's proven ability to make plays, and I've got two guys at Auburn that I'm not sure can do that.
Last year, Sean Clifford looked like the better quarterback against Bo Nix.
Yeah.
This year, why would it be any different?
Why would it be any different? So, if recency bias, if I'm going by the last thing I saw, it is hard for me to imagine Auburn winning this game by more than a field goal. You know, some things break late. Get the ball last, run the ball, power it down to the 30, put Anders Carlson on the field, let him kick a field goal.
Yeah.
And then the other options to me are all favoring Penn State, right? So that's the scenario I see Auburn winning this game. But based on the last things that I've seen, I just haven't seen anything that tells me, Auburn's going to go in there and dominate Penn State for 4 quarters and, walk away with a 2-touchdown win. It could happen. But I haven't seen anything that tells me that.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I think that's fair. I think that's logical. Penn State not explosive. Can they drive the ball, on these long drives on this Auburn defense constantly throughout the night?
Can they hit mid-range passes? San Jose State had some success hitting mid-range passes on Auburn's secondary, and so. That, to me, is like where Penn State's going to live, in that 10 to 20-yard range. And
this is the kind of game where penalties and turnovers are magnified.
Yeah.
Auburn has yet to win the turnover battle. I think that's critical in this game.
No
they
question.
must win the turnover battle. And they can't. They had 9 penalties against San Jose State. And bad penalties and bad timing. They killed drives. So – those kind of Auburn's just simply not good enough right now to be able to overcome those kind of things.
Right.
And I think those are going to be two of the big. Third down conversion, that's going to be one of the biggest ones. Penn State not very good this year converting third downs in these first 2 games. Only 30.8%. That's 105th in the country. Auburn a little better, fair to 42.1%. You'd like to be even a little higher than that, but whoever does better on third down, whoever wins the turnover battle, this is kind of one of those old-fashioned type games. You're not going to see a 42-41 game.
No.
This is not that kind of game.
Like you said, it's going to be turnovers, critical penalties, that sort of thing, and then somebody's quarterback's going to have to make a play in the fourth quarter. That's generally. In big-time college football, somebody's quarterback makes some plays in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Big-time players make big-time plays, and that's how you get – and I talked about that. Luke and I talked about that quite a bit last night about Alabama and Texas. I mean, Bryce Young made a big-time play.
By all rights, Alabama, it would be hard for Alabama to play a worse game. 15 penalties for 100 yards. Defense, I thought people I know have been all over Will Anderson. I thought Alabama's defense played pretty well. Gave up 1 touchdown. When the offense goes 5 straight 3-and-outs and the defense is still able to hold the other team under 20, it's a pretty good day. But then the difference is you've got an All-American quarterback back there who simply, if he gets the ball last with a chance to win, more often than not, he's going to win a game.
That's what Luke and I were talking about that last night. We'll move on to the SEC when we come back. But, we had this conversation Friday night.
Yeah.
And you said – I think Alabama, and we both said Texas probably come out really fired up, but Alabama will kind of be the boa constrictor and, in the second half just kind of squeeze the life out of Texas. And it almost turned out to be the opposite. Yeah. Texas really was the boa constrictor.
Yeah.
And it just, but Bryce Young turned it on in the last couple of drives and made the plays when they had to make them. But really surprised that Texas was able to do that.
But it's so, that's college football today, right? It's like, in those big games, big non-conference games and big conference games, Gary Danielson has said this for 10 years. You can't hide your quarterback. They're going to have to play. and you can't hide them. And they're going to be what they'll be. And that position's so critical still.
Up against another break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after these messages.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
Russell Building Supply and Home Center is just around the corner in a brand new, convenient location with a wide selection of grills, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. The new store offers more home improvement items along with other helpful conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard and our Best Rewards program, making it an ideal destination for do-it-yourselfers and professional contractors. Get ready for game day on the plains by stocking up on all your Auburn tailgating gear at Russell Building Supply and Home Center.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and JJ here with you for about 30 more minutes left in today's show. Brought to you each and every day by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team, saving people thousands of dollars each and every year on their home mortgage. Give them a call today, 256-397-0248, 256-397-0248. That's Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team. Kind of opening up our view of the SEC here a little bit. Who could not think about App State and Texas A&M? Does this game say more about App State or more about Texas A&M?
More about Texas A&M. Haynes King is not ready to play. Texas A&M doesn't have a quarterback, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because Jimbo Fisher was kind of hired to bring quarterbacks, right? I mean, wasn't that kind of the thought?
That's what I thought.
Any one of those quote-unquote quarterback whisperers?
You telling me A&M don't have a hotshot freshman that I'm not ready to throw out there?
Apparently not, So, Haynes King goes 13 of 20 for 97 yards.
They had 186 total yards against App State. That's stunning.
And we hear all the talk about all the young studs on defense for A&M. Gave up 181 rushing yards.
That's not
to
good.
App State.
That's not good.
And I mean, no offense to App State, who's a good team.
Now, App State scored 61 against North Carolina. So they held them to 17.
But no, A&M right now is in a little bit of trouble. And
they got Miami coming in this weekend.
Well, that's what I mean, because this could go one of two ways, right? Jimbo gets the ship righted. They get a win over Miami. People go, okay, it was one of those weird upsets, but A&M's still a good team, and they're going to have a fine season. Or they get beat by Miami, and people start talking, And I don't think there's any chance Jimbo Fisher gets fired this year. I think he can work his way onto a definite warm seat by the end.
3-9 gets you fired.
Well, I can't imagine 3-9. Could they go 3-9?
They could lose to Miami. They could lose to Arkansas. They could lose to Auburn. They could lose to Alabama. They could lose to Mississippi State. They could lose to Ole Miss. Need I go on?
Yeah, better find some wins in there, Jimbo.
Now, they could beat some of those teams, too.
Yeah.
Biggest win of the weekend may be Kentucky Wildcats going into games.
Yeah, no question. And you know what's interesting about that, though? Florida, I was watching that game. Florida was in that game for most of the game. As poorly as Anthony Richardson was playing. I mean, he played terrible.
Not good.
And as bad as he was, Florida was in that game for a long time. They just couldn't get the quarterback play to ever get them over the hump, right? So, that not to take anything away from Kentucky, who, but because Kentucky's very physical, good, solid team, right? I don't know that they're Arkansas or Kentucky. Who you taking?
Where are they playing? I would probably go with the home team.
Yeah.
I think it would be an excellent game. A lot of fun. How about an SEC title game? Kentucky and Arkansas.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
But you're Arkansas Razorbacks, so you have, as the second best team in the West, I have Mississippi State coming in second in the West.
Yeah.
But Arkansas 44-30. Again, they gave up. Spencer Rattler threw for a lot of yards, but really, Arkansas was in control all day.
Yeah, and they're just with a handful of teams, possible exceptions out there. Arkansas is more physical than you are, and that counts for just about everybody. I mean, their offensive line gets after it. They run the ball hard. KJ Jefferson can make plays, and defense gave up 376 yards passing, but I really think Spencer Rattler is going to do that to a lot of people. Unfortunately, South Carolina is going to give up a ton of points as well. So, but yeah, Arkansas is what I thought they were.
I think the boy from Alabama, the transfer. Drew Pearson. Not Pearson. Drew Sanders.
Played
Played outstanding.
Yeah.
He was all over the field. Tennessee gets some revenge against Pitt, although that game, they were probably very fortunate to win that game because Kevon Slovis gets knocked out of the game. But give Tennessee credit.
As much as it pains me to say it, Tennessee's pretty good.
Offensively, they are.
I don't think they're a bad football team at all. I think Tennessee's going to win plenty of games this year.
Mississippi State goes into Arizona. 39-17, that's a good win for them on the road. Will Rogers continued to be 39 of 49. Good grief. I mean, we hadn't the completion percentage when you throw the ball 50 times. I don't care who you are. That's pretty impressive. It's 7 on 7. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Wake goes into Vandy. Are you shocked?
Not really. I was hoping. I had hope.
That it was dashed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Missouri, not really good.
Missouri's pretty terrible.
It was granted, it was a deluge.
Yeah.
And they had to stop the game a couple of times, I think, because of a weather delay. But still, they got hammered by Kansas State.
Would Kansas State have to play in that weather?
I think they did.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
Yeah.
So it didn't just rain on Missouri.
It did not.
Okay.
They didn't have a retractable roof every time they. But nonetheless, Georgia gets it done. No problem with
Georgia now the only team in college football that has not given up a touchdown this year.
And may not against South Carolina. We'll see. But up against another break here, and we'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after these messages.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
At Trinity Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Someday, in the not-so-distant future, it happens. In that moment, you realize you're ready for anything. Get a degree in emergency management from Jacksonville State University and be ready when it matters most.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house, you need 3 things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually 4. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
2 nights, 1 weekend at ATL Live. Friday, November 11th, his first concert ever at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Billy Joel. With Lionel Richie and Sheryl Crow. And Saturday, November 12th, 8-time Grammy winner Chris Stapleton with Miranda Lambert, Dwight Yoakam, and more. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss ATL Live, powered by Ticketmaster.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker! Brubaker! Brubaker!
absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and JJ here with you just for a couple more segments in today's program. We are brought to you each and every day by Russell Do-It Center. They got 10 locations around central Alabama for all your building supply, home decor, tools, whatever it might be. Go and check out Russell Do-It Center today. You'll be glad that you did. Some interesting games coming up this week, as we mentioned, Miami and Texas A&M. And College Station, that should be very interesting.
I gotta like Miami at this point, don't you?
You know, they struggled with Southern Miss a little bit in that game, so I'm not sure how good Miami is. I cannot believe Texas A&M is that bad. I have to believe they bounce back and play better.
Let's hope.
For Jimbo's sake.
Yeah,
Now, do I feel bad for him? You know, he's a $100 millionaire. No, I don't feel bad for him at all. But for Texas A&M fans, which I think are for some good fans.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't get the male cheerleader thing, but regardless, I like the dog. I like the 12th man. I like all that. You know, but
I don't get the squeeze hags thing. It doesn't.
No. I used to like. I mean, you know, the back in the '80s, the Wrecking Crew.
Oh,
that was cool.
I loved R.C. Slocum, man. He was one of my favorite coaches back in the day. Tommy Tuberville running that defense back then.
That's right. That's true. Also, who was the guy that he went to Notre Dame and got fired? He was, I think he was a defensive coordinator there for a while, but I can't remember his name at the moment. But anyway, Georgia and South Carolina. Not really.
Georgia shouldn't have much trouble with South Carolina. I do think they'll give up a touchdown this week. You know, finally for the first time. Because I think South Carolina's got Spencer Rattler can throw it around a little bit, and they've got enough athletes. They'll score a few points, but that's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like a 42-14 kind of deal.
Yeah, and you know, Penn State and Auburn. That's another big one that could have. But how about Mississippi State going to LSU?
I like Mississippi State. I
think they're favored going into Baton Rouge. When's the last time that happened?
I'm gonna give you some credit. You picked Mississippi State to finish second in the West. I did not. I picked Arkansas to finish, but I think they're both pretty good teams. I think Mississippi State is their offensive line's better than I thought they were going to be. And you know, Will Wright, whatever quarterback plays in that system can throw it. So yeah, I don't. Mississippi State will frustrate LSU. And when LSU gets frustrated, they're a threat to quit. Just because that's the mentality that Ed Orgeron left behind. And Brian Kelly's got a heavy lift ahead of him getting that changed.
What? That, like Luke said, apparently this was on, I thought maybe this was an interview or something. Ed Orgeron, they said, you know, talking about that last year, and he said, he got called into the office, and the guy said, you know what, we're going to have to let you go, but we owe you $17 million, and we're going to pay you. He said, when do you want me gone, and what door do you want me to go out of? You know, $17 million. Write me a check now.
Yeah.
You'll never see me again. But anyway, the Braves, we mentioned a half a game back of the Mets. They're in San Francisco still. I think they play an afternoon game today.
They do. 2:45, I think, is the time.
Okay. You know, that final game, they could have taken 3 from the Mariners. They scored 5 in the ninth, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But then, you know, Jansen comes out and blows it. How concerned are you with the closing?
I'm not yet. I'm not greatly concerned yet. Because, and you know this, we talked about it a little while ago, recency bias, right? the last thing we saw is usually what's in front of our minds, and the last thing we saw was Kenley Jansen blowing that save. But at the same time, and you know this because we've talked about this early in the season with the Braves, I'm a believer in the baseball card. Mm-hmm. Usually I would tell you that the back of the baseball card don't lie, and Kenley Jansen's going to be fine when it gets down to end of the season.
At some point, age catches up with you, though.
It does, and I don't think you make a change there yet. I think you keep rolling, and hey, there have been times when the Braves have had the best closer in baseball, and we still blew saves. So, it's going to happen. Do what you need to do and kind of get ready for the playoffs. But in the playoffs, it's hard to look in that bullpen and pick out somebody else you want closing.
True. I said emphatically last year, Braves cannot win a World Series with Will Smith closing. Braves won a World Series with Will Smith closing.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where I'm about to say Braves cannot win the World Series again with Kenley Jansen closing.
Well, based on your track record, you should say that.
I'm hoping I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So, don't listen to what I say. It's not like I know anything. But here is the rest of and God bless the Cubs who have beaten the Mets 2 games in New York, by the way.
Yeah.
So they got another game today. The Braves
beat DeGrom last night. Jumped on him early.
Yeah. So the Mets play the Cubs in New York today as well. So here's the finishing schedule for the Braves and the Mets. Braves, home against the Phillies, home against the Nationals, on the road against the Phillies, on the road against the Nationals, the Mets at home, the Marlins close out 3-game series. The Mets, Pirates at home after following the Cubs. At the Brewers, at the A's for 2 games, Marlins at home, at the Braves for 3, and they close out with 3 at home against the Nationals. So Marlins Nationals, I think that's a wash. Marlins Nationals again, that's a wash. Brewers and Nationals, you favor the Braves. Pirates and Phillies, you probably favor the Mets.
Yep.
That 2-game series in Oakland,
Phillies and A's.
The
thing about the Phillies is, and it's easy to forget this, aren't they like 18 games over 500?
They're not bad.
So they're a pretty good baseball team. So the Phillies are not, having 6 against the Phillies isn't ideal, but 6 against the Nats, 3 against the Marlins, you feel pretty good about that. That's 9 of your remaining games.
I think it's not like one of them has a much more difficult schedule than the other.
No.
These are pretty even.
Actually, if the Mets wanted to build a little lead, they could have done it in the last week. The Braves went on a 7-game West Coast road swing. Those are hard to do.
Yep.
Give the Braves credit. They won 4 of them so far, right? Chance to win a 5th today. So, give the Braves credit for finding a way to do that. But the Mets, with their schedule in the last few games, with the Marlins and the Cubs, could easily have run that and built a 2-3 game lead.
They get swept by the Cubs tonight.
They get swept by the Cubs. And
that might be psychologically damaging.
It will be so vintage Mets for that to happen. I hate a Met. I'm just going to, there's no other, I don't care about American League teams. There's really not another National League team that I hate, but I hate the Mets.
That deep sea, did that go back a long way?
Just always hated them.
Okay.
Just always
Even
thought
86?
Yeah, I think it's that faux confidence. It's that confidence that comes from never having done anything. You know what I mean? We're the Mets. We're going to win the World Series this year. Why? You haven't done it for, 30.
We're up against the final break. We'll be back with one last segment of the Auburn Blitz on this Wednesday. Right after.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around. Need that boost to get you started in the morning or help get you through a long day at the office? Alex City Nutrition is your answer. Alex City Nutrition, located on 2nd Broad Street in downtown Alex City, offers meal replacement shakes, post-workout shakes, extreme rebuild products, and a vast array of loaded teas that offer focus, energy, and build up your immunity and overall health. Want to buy in bulk? We now offer your favorite flavors by the gallon. Come by Alex City Nutrition today or call 256-496-8284 to begin your journey to great health.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
In a word, it's chaos.
You'll have to see it to believe it. Whoever said that must have been talking about Talladega. It's a place where chaos mixes with speed, where a town turns into a city, and a weekend becomes a lifetime of memories. It's a tradition like no other.
What a wild finish.
At a track like no other. And after it's all over, you still don't believe it ever happened. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and JJ here with you for one final segment, closing things out till 1 o'clock. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Be sure to join us each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1, right here on WOTM or WAXC TV on your Spectrum dial. You can always join us on Facebook as well, the Sports Blitz, Sports with a Z, Sports Blitz Facebook page. JJ, it is the 14th day of September. My goodness, this year is almost gone.
That's right.
Hard to believe.
Yeah,
it has flown by. 1986, on this day, Bo Jackson hits his first Major League Baseball home run.
Was it one of those like 375 footers, 10 feet off the ground that barely squeezes over the fence? Was it that kind of thing?
It was not.
Yeah, Bo never hit those.
No, it was
if Bo caught one, he caught it flush.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, if he did it spectacularly. 475-foot blast, your first Major League home run. 475 feet, the longest at Royal Stadium ever.
That was the thing about Bo, is like he struck out a lot, but if he caught one, he caught it full.
Yeah. 1991, Marshall Faulk rushes for a then NCAA record 386 yards and 7 touchdowns.
I still don't know that he's not the best college running back I've ever seen.
He was really, I think he averaged like 10 yards a carry for a year.
He came right on the heels of Barry Sanders, right? We just watched Barry Sanders do what he did at Oklahoma State, and then Marshall Faulk comes along, and you're like, wow, where did this guy come from? You know,
he was special. He was really a lot of fun to watch, and really wish. I mean, no offense to San Diego State, but I mean, if he would have played at a big time program like in the Big Ten or SEC, wonder what. I mean, he didn't even win a Heisman Trophy.
Yeah,
and you know, so I didn't even know if he was in it.
Won it. Gino Torretta? No,
91 would have been
92.
I don't know. That's a good question. Rashawn Salam? Was that 90 maybe?
That's one of those Bears draft picks that never worked out.
Yeah. 1994, Major League Baseball owners vote on this day to cancel the remainder of the season. I'd forgotten it was this late. My goodness. They canceled the rest of the season, and, of course, there was no World Series in 1994.
Desmond Howard won the 1991.
Desmond Howard in 1991. Okay. Yeah. Am I right? Was Salam somewhere around?
I don't know.
There? No.
I just saw the Desmond Howard.
I'm thinking that he was like 90.
I think Rashawn Salam won it, though, right?
He did, yeah.
Colorado? May have been 93, 94.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was later on. Happy birthday today, Clayton Moore. The Lone Ranger.
Ah, okay.
Born on this day, 1914. Dickie Mogul was a College Football Hall of Fame halfback with Rice. You don't see a lot of Hall of Famers coming out of Rice.
Well, you
anymore.
used to.
Yeah.
You don't anymore.
Don't anymore. Walter Coing, Chekhov from Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Chekhov, 1936.
Vodka.
Still alive. Yeah, that's right. Likes the vodka. Larry Brown won the NCAA championship at Kansas, 1988. Won an NBA title with the Nets.
Nets, yeah.
Right, I think. 1940. Sam Neill.
Terrific actor, right?
Jurassic
Park.
Park.
Who I'm thinking of, Jurassic Park, yeah.
In a really good movie called Dead Calm.
I remember that.
Had, with redhead
Nicole
Tom
Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
We had Billy Zane. Crazy Billy Zane. Very good movie, though. Bowser from
Boom, 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 boom.
From Shot on this is just a weird. I mean, it was a bunch of guys in the 70s that dressed up like greasers.
Well, they were like a doo-wop group.
They did it.
They got their own variety.
They did
show.
50s music and got a variety show.
Yeah, and you know, you still sing that song, "Good Night, Sweetheart."
Run Around Sue. I wonder why they would sing all those great 50s. I like 50s music, to be perfectly honest with that kind of stuff. Steve Gaines.
Steve Gaines, a guitarist for Leonard Skinner, unfortunately was killed in that plane crash in 1977.
Along with his sister as well.
His sister Cassie, who was a backup singer,
Ed King.
Former Leonard Skinner guitarist, who actually is the one who wrote the riff on Sweet Home Alabama. Ed King wrote the...
And left the band in 75 before the plane crash.
Yeah. Ed King actually said, somebody asked him how he came up with that. He's like, I was just playing some stuff and we wanted to do a song called Sweet Home Alabama. When I played it, it sounded like Alabama. So
really?
And now that it's 40 years old, it kind of sounds like
Alabama. It does. I would say so. Mary Crosby, born on this day, 1959. She shot J.R.
Oh, okay. All right.
Morton Harkett. No?
No.
If I asked you, JJ, what is the quintessential 80s song? What would you say?
Ugh. Well, it's not going to be by this guy because I would probably go like either Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Cyndi Lauper.
Okay.
Or possibly Purple Rain by Prince.
If I said, what is the quintessential 80s video, what would you say?
Sledgehammer, Peter Gabriel?
Either that or Take On Me.
Oh, okay. That's who that
Aha, lead singer.
Gotcha.
In a day or two.
Yeah.
A little bit of high voice there. Dan Cortez. Great Seinfeld episode. He was like an MTV guy.
Yeah.
He was he was the guy that they fell off the rock onto his face when Kramer and George forgot to tie it off. Andrew Lincoln from You a Walking Dead fan?
Yes, Rick. Yeah,
Rick from The Walking Dead. Delman Young or Frosty Rucker. Delman Young, remember him? He was from Montgomery, Alabama. Threw a bat at an umpire.
Oh,
you remember?
I don't remember that.
Amy Whitehouse, Tony Finau, and Jimmy Butler, all born on this day, September the 14th. That's going to wrap it up for us. He's JJ. I'm Andy. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.